Greetings and welcome to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with Goth Tarot. My weekly look into the shadow issues in our lives. What is our inner darkness? What are the things that make us more emo? The gloom of our life, the resignation. Can we understand what our shadow issues are and how to come to terms with it? So to do this, I do a card reading each week. The first week I start off with my co-star Banshee, who helps us set up a month's worth of shadow work under a particular topic. So we're going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to open with our opening meditation. It's from the Dark Light Oracle. I think it'll look better over here. Well, what falls to the floor comes to the door. Oh, and it did fall out of the hands. It's leaving. Number 9. New horizons to be sought. Pack your stuff, put your coat on and move. You cannot stay any longer in this place. Something better is to be found elsewhere. Therefore, do not hesitate and leave the old shores. Of course, there will be some tears. Of course, you were used to this former life. But a new era must begin for you. The sky says so. The sun says so. Your guts say so. Don't turn around. Don't flinch. Harden your heart and accept the separation. What you will find on the other side of the bridge is worth the momentary pain you're feeling. So go. Leave it all behind and go. Affirmation. A new journey must start for me, so I'm leaving for a while. And I know the places I'm about to discover are the true ones I belong to. So once again, that was from the Dark Light Oracle. Last week with Banshee, we used our major tool, the Cries of the Soul's Oracle, to define a specific area of shadow work we wanted to look at. And that was energy sponge. So I'm going to, there's an affirmation. I align my internal and external balance. So I'm going to give us a brief reminder of what this one was about. You may often say you're an energy sponge and consider the state of inner imbalance as inevitable. And sometimes it's a source of reassurance. When you don't feel capable of setting boundaries and saying no, I'm the perfect excuse. When you're afraid of your emotional reactions, you can just sponge up other people's, which are so numerous and powerful. There is no room left for yours. You don't question your values and follow the decisions made by other people so you don't make mistakes or fail. Being a sponge is your way of moving forward and experimenting. So we talked a little bit about what some of the things are that manifests as. And of course, it leads mostly to the idea of disempowering yourself. That's really what's coming down there. So there were some other things we shared, but now we're going to update this idea here uh, by giving us an update with our Erethereal Shadow Work Tarot. We used that more extensively last week. This time we're just pulling a card. And it's the Ten of Wands. Well, I think that the Ten of Wands in this instance would be saying that we're still using the idea of certain factors as excuses so that we can, avoid making, decisions or taking responsibilities. And so the Ten of Wands is one of the key figures on that because the Ten of Wands says, I'm really too busy. I have all these problems and all these burdens that I'm bearing and these responsibilities. So it's not my fault if I'm just kind of moving ahead, this whole thing. So it's something to think about. All right, so now we're gonna go into the other parts of the reading, which involve other shadow issues that are not necessarily the same as the energy sponge. They may be adjacent in the sense that they are other shadow kind of things that we use as defense mechanisms or things to avoid dealing with it. But some of it is also real issues too. So let's get into that. We're going to use the Midnight Boulevard, and we're looking at the concept of the dark detour. What are other ways we are distracting ourselves, taking a detour? What is that excuse? If we know what that excuse is, maybe we can address it in some way and break down that factor. Is it just another construction we're creating, kind of like another persona of the shadow? Now, some of that will happen next week when we look at the whole issue again with that emphasis. So once again, the Midnight Boulevard, what's our dark detour? What is the main thing we do to distract ourselves or or create an additional barrier. That's the reversed Seven of Wands. Ouch. The dark detour of the reverse Seven of Wands could be indicating too much helplessness. You know, we had our first card from the Erethereal saying, "Oh, I have these burdens. I can't get to it because I'm too responsible." And this could be saying, "I have to give up. I can't deal with all this, and so I just really have to maybe run and hide." And so that's our dark detours. We're trying to hide from all of this. We just can't really deal with it. So what is a dark twist then? That's my next card. The dark twist is the idea of an unknown factor that could change things, possibly for the better. Then again, it might add to the idea of other detours and distractions. I'm using the murder of crows on that. The dark twist an unknown factor, unintentional situation happening or person or provocateur. It's the Ace of Swords. And something wants to give you a new task, a new quest. This could indicate that maybe in that attempt to run away, take a detour, you get an offer you can't refuse that just pulls you into a new direction where you can possibly achieve something, make something happen that maybe can further distract you or give you something else that you need to do as well. So finally, then, we're going to use Tarot V, and V stands for Vampire. And what is the dark spiral? What is draining you? What kind of thing saps your energy, enthralls you? It should be considered as an external, like it's not just another part of yourself that's limiting yourself. And it's the Seven of Pentacles, which is upright. There's a malaise that is setting in. A malaise that maybe is making you feel like you can just wait and let it happen on its own. Let things take its course in a normal kind of way. And maybe that's true. Maybe it's how you deal with facing up to the fact that you're finding excuses to deal with your shadow issues. So you're just saying, well, they're not going to be here forever. They're going to go away. waiting. And maybe that can happen. I think we're just going to end on a downbeat then and move to the close. And we're going to draw a card from the Carnival of Souls. Mother Mort's Carnival of Souls. It's Morrigan, the great queen. Drawing this card represents upcoming strength when you're in the spotlight, in a moment of conflict or in an important discussion. The great queen rides alongside you. Have courage to yourself and trust that fate is on your side. Just don't get too attached to any one particular outcome, as Morgan might know more than you about how the situation will resolve itself. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think it sort of is indicating that maybe the issues of this week's shadow work, not necessarily the main theme of the month, the energy sponge, are things that maybe have no true strength and will fade along as this month goes on. Let's hope that that's true. So I'm going to leave you with that, trusting in what the Oracle has given us. We'll be back next week then to look at some other aspects of the shadow work. And until then, I hope you'll be fine. Don't forget to check out our live show tomorrow night from 7 to 9 p.m. and my Friday show, Emotional Exchanges, at 7 o'clock. And then also Happy Hour and the Unhappy Hour will be on Saturday. Unhappy Hour, we're not sure, but the Happy Hour will be on at 4 p.m. So check us out, everybody. We'll see you next time.